and the property goes to Johnson's, they could do nothing except put it on the market and sell it, and invariably, most likely, make a good profit because people in Columbus want to have access to the river. So we have no proof that this development and everything they talk about will take place. Mr. Hill asked at the viewing, and at the start of it, the Johnsons said they were talking about they needed it for parking or something. Later on, they were going to build a restaurant across the street. Mr. Johnson made a statement they didn't have any plans till they could see what happened if they got the land. We don't know if the county health department would okay a sewage system for a restaurant there or anything else. And this land could be vacated and nothing ever done then, and the street is a waste then.
We have been in contact with the health department here. They have been out and they have checked for all the sewage and everything there. As far as a restaurant, you can check with them. They do have it on record. Joe Stigler, he come out and done the soil testing. That's all been done. We cannot have the architect proceed with any plans yet until we know if the road will be closed. But you can contact our architect, Pat Kelly. He has been working with us on drawing up plans for a restaurant and a drive-through. So that it is all in the plans. We are not planning on taking that street and selling it.
Just for your information, I would imagine you're aware that some of that may be in the floodplain.
Yes.
And you will need to,
Check.
whoever builds in that area needs to work with the floodplain.
We have, they are working on that. with us
Whether it's
also.
vacated or not vacated, just be aware of that area there that may need to, whatever would be built or put in needs to be checked for. Go ahead.
I'm Denise Armstrong. I'd like to know if there was a load limit on alleys and streets like that.
Doug? No. He says no. Other than when we do reduce load limits for
Frost wall.
Frost wall.
That's on county roads, not pertaining to township, unless the township would pass a resolution as well for the frost wall.
Doug, if the road was vacated, whose responsibility was it to get the alley up, trustees?
Yeah, I think so, yes. Yeah, if the trustees have to, I think the trustees are a really important case, and this has nothing to do with Mr. Johnson being a trustee. But I think two of the three of the trustees need to vote to agree to this. I think we need a letter if the commissioners would so decide. I think there needs to be formal documentation from the trustees that this would like to be vacated, and that I do have a letter from the trustees saying that the alley portion we're calling, which is the 16.5-foot section now, that is basically a grass trail. There's probably some aggregate underneath it, but that it would be brought up to standard, and that the trustees would be willing to open that and maintain that.
My understanding, I'm Curtis Hunter again, my understanding is that Blue Rock Township has not accepted any streets that people want open unless they pay for everything, have the engineer's office tell them what it needs, and have to maintain it for 2 years.
I don't know that.
Honestly, I'm not aware of anything of that nature. If that's a township rule, then that's a township rule. We have to deal with that with a township. Township has to be willing to maintain that as an alley.
Curtis Hunter again. Therefore, the taxpayers have a perfectly chipped steel street closed, a portion of it, and then pay to maintain an alley that's never been used. Nobody had reason to use it. Nobody looked for it. All they had to do was come to us. We had the plats of Gatesport. They wanted to know where it was. But nobody, for at least over 50 years, saw no need to have to use it. Now, if we vacate a part of the street, then they wouldn't have a need to use it.
Dana Johnson, I'm speaking as a trustee now. This alley we're talking about is just like 150, 160 feet. It's not a major expense. 125. It's not a major expense. I've been in office 2 years. We've carried over money every year. It's not like we're a broke township anymore. We've got money to do stuff.
Curtis Hunter again, when you took office, how much debt did Blue Rock Township have?
I don't know.
Curtis Hunter,
Probably none.
We're getting on to something else now that doesn't.
Yeah, this probably.
all right, Curtis Hunter again, how much debt do we have now as Blue Rock Township?
The relevance to the closing of the road.
I don't know, he brought up the
Okay, but I'm just saying.
township point of it.
That was about being able to afford to open the road up the street. You asked about it.
You say we had plenty of money, but how much debt do, every business has a balance sheet, debt and what's available, and where we start out with no debt, now we have debt. Doesn't sound like we ought to be incurring any more, taking on anything else.
That's a matter for you and the township trustees to decide on where they're comfortable with debt limits and so on and so forth, so. Did you have something like that?
Can I ask the county commissioner a question? Or the engineer, I'm sorry.
Yes.
I drive
Your name?
around, my name's John Burgess. I parked my truck down at his property because I parked it up at Philo. It keeps getting broke into. So I park it down there so it's safe.
Which
Okay?
property?
My father-in-law,
Okay.
okay?
At his property, 2.5 miles south?
2.5 miles south,
Okay.
okay? When I'm coming north, now you've been around trucks long enough, you know it takes a lot of room for a semi. I can't come in his driveway, so I go up there, I turn around, okay? If they close the alley, could you tell me where's a safe place to turn around at, as an engineer? Now, I once in a while, this gentleman here, he owns Green Acres Restaurant. I go up to his place and I turn around there on occasion if the alley's blocked, because it has been blocked in the past at times, okay? Can you tell me where is a safe place? Because I figure now what they're gonna do is they're gonna put a weight limit sign on the alley. Now, I'm gonna go around there empty, okay, so I'm not loaded. Or they'll put no through trucks. So I figure that's probably what's gonna happen now. So could you tell me where would be a safe place to turn around?
I've not, to be honest with you, I've not studied that area enough to make a recommendation on where you would turn your truck around.
But you're saying I would probably have to go clear to Duncan Falls. And then how many more miles is that? And fuel was $3.50 a gallon.
I don't believe I said you need to go to Duncan Falls.
Well, no, I'm just saying, would it be your opinion I would have to go clear to Duncan Falls?
Honestly, I don't feel I'm qualified to make that
Okay.
discussion or that
Because
conclusion.
Gatesport's such a small town.
At this point in
really no
time-
place to turn around.
You know, I know when I go down, if I'm coming north and I turn around and go south, and again, I'm only driving a pickup
Right.
truck. Sometimes I will turn left there, turn right there at the post office if I'm coming north, and maybe use that, or go up 376 and come back around. You know, honestly,
Yeah.
I'd be willing to look at that with you and see if we can figure out something.
Well, Frank Van Cooney, he also drives truck. He parks his semi right across the street, right there at Henderson. And he lives up there on the corner of 376. Now, I asked him the other day, and he lives right there on the corner where you're talking about. There's no way to make that turn. And I also like to ask this gentleman, I go down through there in the evening, do you see me doing anything I shouldn't be doing?
No, I have not.
I take it slow, don't I?
Yep.
And if there's cars there, and your dog, he likes to lay out there in the road, he gets out of the road, so.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Since you travel north,
I come, usually I unload south. I go down Marietta, Charleston, down that way. And in the evenings, I come usually north, not always.
Okay.
But once in a,
And-
once in a while I'm coming south.
and where do you turn?
Right now, I turn left, right off of 60,
Go
head
towards the
towards the
bridge.
bridge,
Okay.
and then turn left, and get down the street, and I come out Henderson, and then go south.
Okay, I guess one of my questions I would say is, and again, I'm just here for clarification for facts. If a landowner, any landowner, would restrict Water Street to its proper right-of-way dimensions, would that be a problem for you to be able to make that turn